Welcome back, friends, and thank you for joining me on day 12 with Peak Flicks. Today, you will need your Bizarre Animals book, your sticky notes, and a pencil. Our objective for today is that we will understand the text structures impact the meaning of an informational text by reading and identifying key vocabulary pertaining to a problem and a solution. We're going to continue to focus on text structures, but we're going to solely focus on problem and solution, which is what is the issue and what's the way to fix it. In this case, how are animals solving their issues? When we come across the text structure of a problem and a solution, we want to ask ourselves, what is the problem? What is the solution? What's the issue? We're going to look for the problem first and then the solution. There might be signal words such as consequently, therefore, as a result, thereby, leads to, because of, issue, since, causes, and these words will help us identify the issues that our animals have either with their physical adaptations or with their behaviors. I wanted to start with an example on page 8. And while I read out loud, I want us to ask ourselves, what is the problem and how is it solved? Peppered moth. Our world is always changing, and every creature must adapt to survive. Evolution occurs when animals change over time and increase their chances of survival. The peppered moth once spent its days resting on light colored trees, its black and white wings blended in perfectly. But then, the Industrial Revolution changed the world. People began using more machines. These machines produced pollution that filled the air. The light colored trees became covered in dark sun. The peppered moth needed to adapt to the new environment. Some moths evolved darker wings and bodies. The darker moths were better able to hide from predators. In time, only black moths remained. This change didn't happen overnight. It took more than 50 years, but allowed the peppered moth to survive. So when I ask myself, what is the problem in this page? What is the problem that the peppered moth had? I know that the pepper moth had issues when people began using more machines due to the Industrial Revolution, which polluted the air. And how did they solve it, or how did they help themselves survive? Well, the peppered moth adapted and evolved darker bodies to hide from predators. So I annotated this on my sticky note. Now I would like for you to give it a try. Try asking yourself on every page of Bizarre Animals, what is the problem? What is the solution? Look for key vocabulary or signal words referring to a problem or a solution that an animal faces. And remember to reflect on your reading stamina and behavior and to complete today's exit ticket. And now let's move on to our writing workshop. You will need your writer's notebook, a pencil, and your Bizarre Animals book. We're going to continue to examine the issues that animals may have physically or behaviorally by writing about a problem and a solution relating to our Bizarre Animal Zoo or the chosen animals. Once again, there are signal words that we can use or keywords such as problem, difficulty, challenge, solution, answer, sense, because, or so that. You're going to be sharing certain issues that your animal is facing or that your zoo is facing. Make sure that you ask yourself questions such as, what is the problem? How is it solved? And is there more than one solution? You can use a description to identify the problem or share the problem with your reader, but you can also use a diagram such as this one or a flow chart. Discussing the problem and a solution helps the reader understand more about your chosen animal or about your zoo. I wanted to show you a quick example of how in this passage the author chose to give us a description of a problem that is occurring, the grave wolf becoming extinct. He decided not to include a flowchart, but instead to describe what is their history and what are some of the issues they've had as they become gradually extinct. In this example, the author did not write a description of what the problem was or how it was solved. Instead, they used a flow chart, and they actually labeled it with the words causes and effects which identify the problems such as destruction of habitats, changes in natural living conditions, hunting, fishing, pollution, and all of these problems have to do with why they are endangered species. He also included the effects. However, he included a third column called or labeled solutions. These are the solutions to solve the problems, such as recycling and sustainable products, education, reduction in water and consumption, reduce your footprint, grow native plants, give donations, avoid plastic products, do not buy products from endangered species, support companies which contribute to the protection of the environment, and reduction to the use of fertilizer and pesticides. You may have both options to use today. You may write a description or you may use a flowchart. I wanted to show you an example of what I've done to write about a problem relating to the platypus. I've added another animal sign next to the one that I had already started about the platypus, and I labeled it Platypus's Problems. I put an X to identify the problems that or the issues that the platypuses are having, such as platypuses are shy animals and will usually dive underwater to swim away from an attacker. This is a problem because they can only last underwater for about 2 minutes. So the solution is if they can't get away, it will use its purse and its hind legs to defend themselves. Another problem or issue the platypus has is that it lives in extreme heat where there are many predators in their habitat because they reside in major permanent river systems. So the solution is that they use several short resting burrows with entrances above water level. And now I would like for you to give it a try. Write 1 to 3 sentences more in each animal sign or create a flowchart diagram. Share a problem and a solution that the animals in your zoo face. You may use any of these keywords to identify the problem or describe it either in writing or in a flowchart. And remember to reread, edit, and revise your writing and to complete today's exit ticket. Until next time, everybody.